Welcome to the Rusted Garden Homestead. Today I just want to do a quick video on how you can start your summer crops of squash, zucchini, cucumbers, cantaloupes, pumpkins, all the crops that kind of fall into those bigger seeds, bigger plants, can't take a frost like the warm weather. So you can start these indoors. I do recommend a lot nowadays to direct sow, but depending on how much time you have to grow, some people want to start early. The whole key for starting and having successful cucumbers, squash, zucchini, etc. is to only let them be in these pots for about 3 to 5 weeks. I'll explain that as we go along. You don't want to start these in the tiny cells. You want lots of root room, lots of root space, so I sell these at my seed shop, 2.5-inch containers. You could use yogurt cups, cut water bottles, just poke holes in them. They need a larger container. If you want to start them in 6 cells, I also sell these larger containers where there's plenty of room for the seeds to root out and fill the space. The reason you don't want these sitting in here 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks is because they grow really fast and they're going to quickly go to flowering, wanting to set fruit. You don't want that. You want to get these out into the ground when the ground is warm, frost is gone. You're kind of looking for temperatures of the top 2-4 inches of the soil to be 50 degrees minimum, 60 degrees, the days being in the 70s. They love the warmth, they're going to take off. So they germinate really quickly, especially indoors. They're going to germinate probably anywhere from 4 to 7 days. To set up the containers, it's really important that you can use any potting mix or seed starting mix, whatever you want to use, but you don't want to just fill it lightly and then your finger can just poke way down there. You want to push this in. You want a nice solid seed starting base for the seed, and then just set up your cells as you wish. I'm using let me just think, Black Beauty squash today. You could be doing this with cucumbers. If you use cucumbers, I recommend 2 seeds. If you do 2 seeds here, it's going to be too many. You're going to have to thin them down to 1. The germination rate for most of these larger seeds is really, really good. You're going to push these down about 1/2 inch deep. And I think I'm starting a flat of here. 4 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 28 plants. If you were going to buy them this size, 28 plants, and you probably can't eat all that, it would cost you like, I don't know, what is that, 32, like $92, because they're going for $4 or $5 at the big box stores. The seeds are going to last you for years. Just store them in a plastic container like this. These are from 2020. They're all still viable. We need one more here. And it's the same setup for these large 6-packs or the yogurt containers or whatever you're using. Basic setup, get some starting mix, cover them over, and you just water them in. They're going to germinate in about a week. Somewhere around, let's just say 3 weeks after germination or so, you want to start acclimating these to the outdoors. That means you slowly take them outside over a week's period of time, let them get used to the sun. Because they're growing inside, they have no protection against the UV rays of the sun. And if you plant them directly outside without acclimation, they're going to die. They're going to get damaged. So 3 or 4 weeks of growing time, acclimation, going in and out, 15 minutes the first day, 30 minutes the next day, 45 minutes the next day. Slowly, they get used to the sun. That's about 4 weeks, 5 weeks worth of growth. Get them into the ground. You're going to have very healthy, very successful growth of your cucumbers, your squash, your zucchini, your pumpkins, your melons, etc. Because you're getting them in when they're smaller. They have leaves, they have nice root systems, they're not trying to flower. You put them out into the ground, it's a little colder, they're growing a little bit more slowly, the roots are establishing, and then when the root systems are nice and big, the plant takes off, they flower, they form fruit, and everything goes really well. The biggest mistake people make when you go to the big box stores is the plants are really big, they have flowers, they're expensive, you buy them late, they've probably been starved of nutrients, haven't been watered well, and they're really stressed out plants. This 4-week plan, 5-week plan puts unstressed plants that are very healthy into the ground, and you're just going to have beautiful growth. Here's an example of cucumber plants that are about 11 weeks old, growing in really small containers. You don't want to buy plants that have flowers or look like this. You might think they look pretty green, you know, they're worth giving them a try. They've got, you know, pretty yellow flowers on there. But these plants are just too small. They don't have root systems that will really support the growth of flowers, the growth of cucumbers. You know, you're better off just throwing these away, starting seeds again, or direct seeding. But you really don't want to buy cucumber plants that have been sitting and look like this, and you don't want your cucumber transplants to really go past that 4 or 5 week period for reasons I've explained. The other thing that I recommend too is, because these germinate so quickly, you can go ahead and direct sow too. So I would put these into the ground, let them establish for 2 weeks, and then sow a couple more seeds somewhere else if you have room in your garden, and these plants will trail behind the plants that you put in as transplants. And sometimes what happens is diseases and pests take on the first planting, you know, they get damaged. You have other plants coming behind them, they get by, they do pretty good. But the cool thing with these warm weather crops is you could put your transplants in, say, May 1st, put some more seed out June 1st, put some more seed out July 1st, and as these get beat up and damaged from pest and disease, you've got all these new crops growing. These are going to mature from germination and start producing really anywhere from 35 to 45 days for the zukes and the squashes and the cucumbers. Pumpkins and melons can take longer, but they really grow quickly in the summer, so don't be afraid to direct seed. If you lose your crops for some reason, just put new seed out, because it's going to be warm enough, they're going to take off, and you'll have plenty of zucchini and squash and cucumbers. Thanks so much for watching. Please check out my seed shop at therustedgarden.com. And I just wanted to give you the basic quick way to seed start these plants. And you know, if you follow this pretty closely to like 3, 4, 5 weeks, you're gonna have really, really healthy transplants. Thanks for watching. Please check out my seed shop at therustedgarden.com.